To the left of me here we have the young Tech Yes City, and today we are building his first gaming PC. And it's not just going to be any gaming PC. This is a gaming PC that is going to be built from some of the best price performance money can buy. And to the right of me here we have Tech Yes Jr. And today we're building his first gaming PC. And this isn't just going to be any gaming PC. This is going to be one of the best price performance gaming PCs money can buy. And if you guys haven't seen, all these parts were acquired within Japan while I was doing a deals hunt while you were at school.
Yes.
Anyway, it's time to go through the price list where we've got a Ryzen 7 1700, an X370 motherboard, 16 gigabytes of DDR4 memory, a 500 watt power supply, a GTX 980, 1 terabyte hard drive, and a 240 gigabyte SSD. And lastly, we're using a case that we got for a good price, and it was actually brand new. And telling up all the prices and how we got these deals, it comes a little bit over 400 US dollars, or if you're in Australia, a little bit under 600 Aussie. So with that aside, we're gonna start building this PC, and the biggest question is, are you ready? So here's his new PC, and it's almost ready, but we've just got to get some more SATA cables now from the local store, since the motherboard actually didn't come with any SATA cables. So what do you think of this PC so far?
It's good.
So this is going to sound a little bit weird or even a little bit embarrassing since we are in Japan and the internet is one of the best in the world, but the place I'm staying at has a pocket Wi-Fi and the speeds are incredibly slow to the point where I won't be able to download Fortnite on this internet connection. And so what I've got to do now is go to a different location where they got Wi-Fi and install Fortnite and maybe just another benchmark like 3D Mark
fire strike to give you guys an idea of how well this performs, and then we should be good to go. My boys should be able to play Fortnite on this beast of a rig. Now, setting everything up, it's absolutely fine. The rig works really well. I've still got to tune it and overclock the CPU since it is the Ryzen 7 1700, as well as overclocking the 2133 MHz DDR4 memory, which is very important to get that on higher speeds, especially to at least around 2666 on the Ryzen 1st gen CPUs. But before we tune this rig up and also play Fortnite, there is something that was really cool with this rig, and that is that it came included with the Windows 10 Pro digital license activated. So that can be a big plus when you're buying used motherboards because they've already got the Windows 10 license tied to the motherboard. But if you don't have a Windows 10 license, then today's video sponsor SCD Keys has you covered for around $13 if you use the coupon code TYCSK upon checkout. Now, I've been using SCD Keys for a long time. That's why they're a channel sponsor. And as my son says, they're totally legit.
Legit.
And the good thing is these licenses are single and one-time licenses, so they won't get deactivated. Links in the description below if you want to get yourself a cheap Windows 10 key. So we've finished tuning this PC up, and there's actually some pretty good news considering we are using the stock Wraith Spire cooler, and that is that we got the CPU up to 3.6 gigahertz all-core boost, and the CPU max on the node temperatures looks like it's going to around 82 degrees C, and so I'm not really going to push it any higher than that. Otherwise, I risk, of course, the CPU overheating, especially if we go into summer. And of course, as we go higher with this CPU from here on in, we're only going to get diminishing returns, and that will use much more power. And on top of that, we'll get much more heat, which will overload that stock cooler. Now, as for the memory, very important, but we still managed to get this to 2733 megahertz CL16. And we did get up to 2800 megahertz, but when I was running the IDA64 benchmark, the stress system memory tab on the benchmark failed at 2800, and of course it refused to boot at 2933 megahertz. But since it is 2133 megahertz memory, it's actually really good that we got it to these speeds, especially considering the price we paid for this whole combo. So we finally got Fortnite up and running, and although it didn't download that fast over this connection we've got here, it still managed to play it absolutely fine. And what we were seeing with the FPS was epic settings, 1080p, practically 100 FPS at all times. And the good thing here was that the 1% and 0.1% lows were really smooth as well on the numerous benchmarks that I did. And so what this means is there'll be no stuttering, no dips while you're playing Fortnite. And we also tested this in this new Gotham City level that they introduced in the Battle Royale. So that was looking really good, really smooth. And then we tested Time Spy and also Fire Strike, and the graphics score as well as the physics score were looking really good. And on top of that, the Zalman Z3 Plus, the case we used, it's really good for the money. The 4 fans were doing a half decent job of moving air, but on top of that, they were remaining really quiet, where I'm recording this right next to this rig now, and this is as noisy as this whole build gets. And so the temperatures while we're playing Fortnite for a long period of time was hovering just below 60 degrees on the CPU, and then on the GPU just below 70 degrees most of the time. So these are really good temperatures for 24/7 use, especially in Japan since it's just coming out of summer and it's still pretty hot. Now here's the part where I'm going to talk about this build for my son, and that he's sort of getting into PC. He's not quite there yet. He still prefers playing on his DS and Lego, but when he told me he wanted a PC to play Fortnite, he sort of took a liking to it, but I think it's going to take more time for him to jump on PC and make the complete change from console. And I mean, I'm guilty myself of this. When I was young, I was all console up until about 11 years old. I think that's when I started to jump across to PC with the game called Warcraft 2. And that was once upon a time, and it was really good when I made that switch. I just started enjoying PC a whole lot more than console. So hopefully he does take to this PC over time, but I can't blame him at this point in time for not being too interested in the PC I built, even though it's got some of the best price performance money can buy, especially coming a little under $400, but giving out just pretty much max settings at 1080p with everything you can throw at it. Now in terms of aesthetics on this build, it does look pretty clean at the moment, though one thing I'd like to do was change that front blue LED fan and change it to maybe 2 red LED fans. I think that would complete the build since we've already got this whole red and black theme going on. And one other thing I'm also doing for my son is I've ordered him a mouse and keyboard off AliExpress. And since in my Japan Mega Deals Hunt series, which is where we got all these parts from, I couldn't find a decent price on a mouse or keyboard, at least ones that were sort of in good condition, which is what I want my son to use. So for 20 bucks, we got a Logitech G102, the same mouse that I use as my daily driver, both when I'm traveling and when I'm in the main studio. And for 20 bucks, it's one of the best buys you can get for a gaming mouse if you're a fingertip gripper. And now for a keyboard, AliExpress have some really good mechanical keyboards to choose from. From around $25 shipped, you can get a really nice mechanical keyboard. And so I've ordered him those 2 components, and that'll pretty much complete his setup. In terms of speakers at the moment, he can either get a headset or a speaker set. There's actually a spare speaker set we have around here, and even then the monitor has its own built-in speakers, which aren't too bad for gaming. Though with all that out of the way, we've got my son gaming on PC, finally with some of the best price performance money can buy. And even though he's only 7 years old, he's probably better at Fortnite already than I am. Though granted, I really only jump into Fortnite to benchmark the game. And now it's time for the question of the day, which comes from a user called DarkXMinds, and they ask, what do you do with all the spare boxes and packaging that comes with the products and components that you've acquired? And this is a really good question, since over the last few years, especially with all the used deal hunting and stuff like that, I've gotten a lot of boxes that just come into the studio. And for me personally, I usually just take the product out. If it's a new product, for example, like a product review for an RX 590 or a GTX 1660, I'll usually just take a shot of the box and then literally chuck that box out, mainly because the boxes just stack up over time and I don't use them. They just take up space in the studio. And funny enough, if I kept all those boxes over the years, I just simply couldn't be able to work in the studio because I'd have nowhere to store them. And here's the funny thing, in different countries like the US and especially in Japan, where I'm at the moment, I think a lot of people do want those original boxes when they either buy a gaming PC or they buy a particular secondhand part. But in Australia, like literally no one cares. And so that's pretty much what I do with the boxes. And another thing I also check for is if there's any connectors, especially converters in graphics card boxes like the PCIe connectors as well as the adapters, where they come with sometimes a DisplayPort to DVI adapter, for example. So I pretty much keep all the product, get rid of all the boxes the first chance I get, though do let us know what you do with your boxes in the comments. And with all that out of the way, I hope you enjoyed today's PC build with my son. If you did, then be sure to hit that like button. And also, if you want a cheap Windows 10 Pro Key license, don't forget to check out the link in the description below and use that coupon code TYCSK to save yourself some money on that new license. Also, let us know in the comments section below what you think of this build, if there were some parts that you would change over and what for, or if you think I've done a perfect job in getting my boy into PC gaming. Love reading your thoughts and opinions as always, and I'll catch you in another tech video very soon.
Peace out for now. Bye.